been? First of all, I do have to say it. Welcome back to Milwaukee.
It's been a minute, Mel. It's been a minute or two. Matter of fact, the last time I was here, I was playing for the Brewers way back in 1997 at Old County Stadium, which used to sit, by the way, just about a block or two that way. So it's a beautiful ballpark. I wish this ballpark would have been here when I played here, because I'm going to tell you what, Milwaukee in April and sometimes May can be a little bit of a cool spot.
It's a lot cool. It was a real feel earlier today of 41 with winds at 15. So yeah. I will take the roof, and you know that Dean Kremer will too. He'll take any conditions, but he already had a cold one earlier in this Kansas City. So what do you look at for him? Because we've watched a relationship with the cutter ebb and flow over the last several years. Yeah,
look, Dino's always been a little bit of a slow starter for me, you know, and the first 6 starts of the year for him, of course, March and April, weren't great. He had an ERA above 7, but he has found probably his favorite pitch definitely against right-handers as of late, and one of his best pitches in that arsenal, which is that cut fastball. And boy, I tell you what, it has been outstanding as of late. This is the made numbers on it, and you can see the usage right there. The cutter is about 28% of the time, so it's his most used pitch, four-seamer, sinker, curveball. But look at the opponent's batting average, Mel, on that cutter. Only 1 for 22 is what they're hitting off of it. And of course, he used it 45% of the time against right-handed hitters, and he'll need that tonight because the Brewers are going to start 5 righties in that lineup tonight, so that cutter's going to be a big pitch for him tonight.
What is it about this? And we take a look at it here because Eflin's cutter, they got to it a little bit yesterday for him. What is that key to success when you're putting it with the rest of the arsenal specifically? I
went and looked at the analytical numbers on Dean Kremer from month to month, and in the month of May, he's getting a little bit more vertical breaking. In other words, he's getting a little more depth in it. But I think, Mel, it's kind of an old school thing for me when I went back to look at a lot of the highlights. He is simply starting it and locating it in a better spot. So really, at the end of the day, it's about pitch command, and we're throwing it where he wants to start it and having it finish where he wants it. And these are the May cutter results for him. You know, you see the outs, 21 outs, only 1 base hit, but you see a lot of those balls off the outside edge, on the edge, so he gets it into the lefties and away from the righties, and that's how he's been able to have so much success as of late. Yes, it is dipping a little bit more than what it did in April, but that's typical for what Dean Kremer, when he's throwing that cutter really, really well, that's kind of what it looks like.
I like it. When you look at how this ballpark, it does play a little differently. You've got the windows even when the roof is closed. How big is it to not only just hide that pitch that's about to come to them, but the grip?
That grip is big, and I'm going to explain to the folks at home on the grip, and I'm going to show you. This is a typical 4-seam grip. You see where my thumb is, where I got my fingers, there's what it looks like. That's a 4-seam fastball grip. When we throw a cutter, the only thing we do, Mel, is we get to the far side of the ball with both of our fingers. So now I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to move my thumb all the way over, and I'm going to take both of my fingers, and I'm going to get to the one side of the ball. And this is how we got the name of the cutter. You see how I'm cutting the ball in half, Mel? I'm holding half of the ball, and now this allows me, again, this is how it's got its name. So in finishing, instead of finishing like a fastball straight down, we're going to finish more at a 45 like this. And when you saw Dean throw that ball, we finish it at a 45, and the ball comes out and it spins a little bit sideways, and that's what allows the ball to go a little bit right to left. So right to left, away from righties, and then inside to the left-handers. But that's the whole idea, is take your regular 4-seam fastball grip, move the thumb over, get it out of the way, and then get your other fingers on the side of the ball way over here. Throw it like a fastball, but instead of finishing it straight down like your fastball like this, you want to finish a little bit like that, and that's what allows that ball a little bit different spin as it goes hard right to left.
It's all in the wrist.
It is all in the wrist, and it's all in the finish and the grip, and of course trusting it, and Dean is trusting that pitch right now.
I like it. Now, we've seen this team a few times. They always come in tough. For Dean, though, specifically, it really does come down to his defense. And I asked Tony Mansolino earlier today about Dylan Carlson, and that's what he keyed in on, is I really like his defense, and he's played the outfield specifically in this park a lot. I just want Dean to have those good defenders behind him. How big is that to your psyche as a pitcher, especially, again, if you've had a couple games where maybe the defense didn't really shore you up, to just breathe?
It's confidence to know that if the ball stays in the ballpark in the outfield, the guys are going to run it down. I can only go back to my days, and we had Brady Anderson in left, Mike Devereaux in center, and Steve Finley, and sometimes Joe Orsolak in right field. And that gave me confidence as a pitcher to pitch to contact, to know that these guys are going to be out there. If it stayed in the ballpark, if I could keep it in the ballpark, they were going to catch it. And when you have a good defense behind you, you're not afraid of early contact. And Dean's old school for me, Mel, in a lot of ways. He doesn't mind early contact in the counts because he wants to go deep in the ball games, and he knows the only way to keep the pitch pitch count down for him is to create early contact in the game. That way, you look up in the 6th inning and he's got 80 pitches and he's still going. So Dean is all about early contact. He doesn't mind that, but he will strike you out. He'll step on a good fastball every now and then when he needs to. And so Dean's an old school approach for me, and I love the way he's throwing the ball, Mel, right now. A 2.75 ERA in the month of May. He's been really, really good, starting to hit his stride.
I like it. That's a nice welcome home present for you to turn back here again. But we'll let you go. I know you've got books and everything else to get to before you cut it up with KB for a while.
All right, Mel. Take care.